Hello, students. Can you see my screen, please? Hello, learners.
Hello. Yes, we can see.
How are you?
Good.
I hope you are doing good.
Yeah, very much well.
And I'd like you, therefore, to mute yourself as I welcome you to today's lesson. My name is Wilfred, and I'm going to introduce you to food additives. That's the topic of the day. I'd just like you to be attentive and also ask questions where necessary to ensure that you seek clarification. So today we are going to discuss food additives, and as you know, food additives are from what you can see from the slides that I've shared with you. These are substances added to food to impart value on flavor, color, or texture. That when you use food additives, we want to add value to food in terms of flavor, the color, and the texture. Flavor is how the food tastes, color is how the food looks, and texture is how the food feels when on hands. Now we have advantages of food additives. Somebody may ask you a question: why food additives? Then you have to say that food additives has got a purpose that it serves in food processing. And these are the advantages. One, it can provide protection against food spoilage during storage, transportation, distribution, and processing. For example, salt is used in cheese processing to prolong the shelf life. That is to, enhance food preservation. Number two, food additives can also be used to to fortify or enrich foods. For example, vitamin D is added to cooking flour, and that makes them available for that. Now that's fortification. Number three, food additives can also be included in the preparation of convenience foods such as jams and jellies. Yes. Food additives can also be used to add color, flavor, firmness, and also retards or hastens chemical reaction in food. Another advantage is that food additives can also maintain nutritional quality of food. Yes. And then lastly, they can also be used as preservation agents and also coloring agents in food. Let's talk about the categories of food additives. Actually, we have got three major categories of food additives. The first one is incidental or indirect. Just from the word indirect, they found themselves into food indirectly. So that one makes them, by default, they're found in food. And then secondly, we have the intentional or direct additives, the ones that are added directly to food for a particular intention, maybe to change the color of food and such like stuff. However, there's also another third group that those are the naturally occurring additives, which may result from processing conditions, for example, metabolic reactions, and also unanticipated chemical combinations. These may include sulfurous and related compounds and contaminants such as aflatoxins also. Importance of food additives. Why food additives? Actually, we have mentioned some of them. Food additives can act as preservatives, or that's food preservation. They can also be coloring agents. They can be antioxidants. They can be used as artificial sweeteners. They can as well be used as flavoring agents. And then lastly, we have emulsifiers, stabilizers, and thickeners. I think preservation is quite clear. Coloring, for example, in turmeric powder used in rice, or for example, in yogurt, we use strawberry to give the yogurt that good color that we expect, the pink color. Then you have antioxidation, is whereby they prevent foods from being oxidized. As we understand, oxidation is a process that may lead to food spoilage. So in turn, they therefore prevent food spoilage. And then sweeteners like sugar. Yes, imagine taking tea without sugar. So sugar imparts sweetness in food. And then flavoring agents like spices, like pilau masala. Yeah, and then emulsifiers, that is also stabilization and thickeners. For example, in yogurt, we do use starch to make it somehow thick. That's why when you look at yogurt and fresh milk yogurt is somehow thick. So those are stabilizers used there. We can therefore wrap it up by just giving some examples of food additives. As you can see there, I think Fidelis, you can unmute yourself and give us examples of food additives that you know. Unmute yourself, please.
Sorry. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. You can proceed.
Yes, some of the example of additives we have like sugar, which is an example is saccharin, then salt, baking powder, eggs, gelatin,
Thank you,
and
thank you,
pepper.
Fidelis. That's very good of you. We can add more examples like pilau masala. We have sodium nitrate for preservation of meat. We have things like, vanilla. We have strawberry. We have bakings that are used in the baking industry. That's the baking powder and all those. So I believe you have understood this topic. And I just want one of the students, James, to give us a summary of what we have just discussed. What can you remember? What have we discussed today? James.
We have learned the importance of food additives, whereby the additives are used to enhance flavors and taste. We also have additives that are used as stabilizers in food products. And I've also learned about some examples of the food additives that we use, like the sugar, gelatin and pepper, pilau masala. Yeah, that's
Thank
all.
you, Mr. Franz. That's very good of you. Now we have come to the end of our lesson, and our next lesson will be taking place next week, same time, same place in this venue, the LMS. So see you there. Until then, my students, may the Lord bless you, and I want to thank you very much. God bless you. Same.